maiden that doesn't need to get rescued.
Nope, not today. Apparently she likes pedestal too, so maybe they'll get their wish.
Oh boy, we'll see what's gonna happen.
Yes. All right. Well, any weapon predictions before we get to Uncle?
I just hope for a bow this time. It's a nice item to find already.
Yeah, bow's probably my favorite start. Definitely makes things a lot easier in the escape and opens up that early Eastern Palace play.
Yeah, it also for a little bit more diversion early on. It's a nice weapon to farm with. It allows for some no trolley escape where you have to hope that you get a lucky bomb drop without running out of magic and stuff. 30 arrows is quite a bit.
Yeah, it's definitely one of the more lenient weapons. Today we get a fire rod though. That's not a bad one.
It's a quick one, that's nice. I mean, not too much farming, but...
Ooh, no farming required.
Well, that makes it really easy.
And that's the weapon version of the bombs, the 10 drop, added specifically to this version of Randomizer. Should we start it up?
Everything in escape then. Just give us the... I don't know, both canes as well while you're at it.
I've seen a lot of weapons in escape. It's not very uncommon for me, at least, to see 2. I have seen 3. It's pretty crazy.
Bit of variation, really. It's nice. Yeah, this is the start that I like to see people get. Just a nice weapon that you can quickly clear escape with, and some extra bombs so you can get to the back, even do a bit of Kakrika already. Not have to farm for bombs or hope to get lucky with triples.
Yeah, definitely feel it. Find the power glove in the first chest.
We're pretty set already, and it's going to look like a nice start.
The other power glove, it's always nice. Sometimes this will evade you for a while. Maybe you gotta do Aghanim, but finding the glove makes that a little bit less likely that we're gonna have to do Aghanim.
Yeah, it's one piece of the puzzle we've unlocked already. A nice 8 bomb drop as well at the beginning of the prize bet.
Very generous indeed. Fortunately, we can only carry 10 right now, so won't be picking those up.
No extra bomb bags yet.
As much as we would like those 8 bombs, we're gonna have to just leave them there on the ground.
So the best part about the fire rod is coming up right here, being able to get the ball and chain guard in one fell swoop.
Yeah, all that heavy armor doesn't protect you against magic.
I assume it's pretty hot in all that armor.
Alright, we find a little bit of money. That's gonna be useful in Kakariko. We still need quite a bit more, but it's a good start.
Yeah, with the current bomb amount, you're fine with having 50 without all the money from the pots. So I assume that they'll find something in Kakariko, but otherwise you want to end up at 100 so you can get the item from the bottle merchant.
But Fire Rod's one of those starts that are very, very... it leads to more sinks, I think, because it's just... there's no execution really involved. You just point and fire, and they just die.
Yeah, okay. Point fire rod at enemy, and the rest is just pure movement. Just so hope to get through the hallways pretty quickly, pretty clean. Don't nudge too much. Yeah, like I said, there's going to be quite a bit of sync at the beginning. Mostly just killing everything in one blow, maybe a little bit of extra farming for some money drops or something, and then the rest should be good.
Yeah, there are quite a few small magic pots in the escape sewer, if you know where they are. So you could opt to fire some snakes, see if you get some extra 20 rupee drops or something like that.
It looks like exactly what he's going for.
Not a bad idea.
Having an extra buffer for the key rat, that makes a lot of sense as well.
Oh,
the triple kill! Not even for the drop, just wants to get through there.
Drinks some blood. Huh. All right, the mirror. That's an interesting one. We did get the glove. We need the lamp for Death Mountain to beat sequence, but that can get us all the way up to Tower of Hera.
Yeah, it's not clearable yet without a hammer or a sword, but it's definitely some signs pointing at something. And mirror is just so useful to have early on. It makes for very efficient routing in the Dark World, being able to link stuff like K45 and the Graveyard Ledge.
Yeah, definitely. One of the downsides of mirror, I guess, is that the mirror locks a lot of locations, so it can definitely eventually lead you astray when it's just checking all the stuff in the overworld.
Yeah. Oh, there's the sword already.
Alright. First sword. I'm back, see, that's nice. I mean, we're all done with escape now, but still nice to have.
There's still the Sanctuary item. Let's see if we can get a fourth weapon out of there. K45 is in the cave south of Grove. It's called K45 because that's what it's called in the game data, apparently. It's the 45th cave in the list.
Yeah, there's some contention about the name there. I think you just call it whatever you want. Okay, we got 3 bombs. I guess that kind of counts.
Yeah, pretty much.
Kinda. So 2.5 weapons in this game. 3 if you count the sword, I guess. Alright, so we got a map check. I believe it was Green Pendant at Eastern. Hera was a crystal. And Desert might have been a crystal?
Yeah, Desert was the Pyramid Fairy Crystal.
Okay.
Let's see how quickly we can get there. Eastern Green Pendant is pretty interesting because you can basically full clear everything without the bow, but sometimes you leave that one item there, and if it's the Sahasra item, that can be kind of tricky. I don't know how quickly you want to go back there.
Yeah, that's just one of those locations, because like you said, if it's pendant, it feels better to go in early, but with the green pendant being there, it also definitely messes with you, because that can absolutely be the item you're missing. And it feels bad to go in there early and then have to come back later. You never want to do that.
Yeah, especially for just one item that takes a while to get to. Getting all the way to Armor's Knights and then having to walk to Sahasra. It's kind of a bother. Caladrius is planning to pick up the Red Ruby right there.
Yeah. Someone asking in chat if we could reintroduce ourselves. I am LA, and this is Error.
Yo!
So there you go. Alright, coming down here to Kakariko. Got all the bombs we'll need for this and more. So we'll be able to spend this hard-earned money on the bottle vendor.
Yeah, the way this is designing up, I wouldn't be surprised to find a Baldo and Flute in here already, so you can do like a full sweep of Kakariko immediately. And this has been quite typical V29 so far, just a whole lot of items at the start, and then we'll have to see what the seed brings us at the latter stages.
Alright, well, let's find out what we got here in blind set.
And that was the most important one.
Bloomerang.
Boomerang.
Lots of blue items here today.
Only the piece of heart stood out there. Alright, well, we're set for money right now. That's nice. I won't have to skip the bottle merchant.
That's something you never want to skip. Coming back here later is a pain in the butt.
Very, very much so. Yeah, to confirm the map check, that was normal crystal at Tower of Hera and the Fat Fairy Crystal in Desert.
All we're really missing for Hera is the lamp or the flute. It can also still be tempting, depending on what we find here in a little bit at South Shore. Just sequence break up there, see what we find.
Yeah, if you find a hammer or a hook shot, then it's a lot more tempting to already go to Stefan.
Alright. So that's an early Titans Mets. We don't have the Moon Pearl yet, so no pre-10 minute Dark World access, unless the This is the pearl seller today.
Disappointing. Just killed the dream right there. So with the current item layout, I wouldn't be surprised to find a flute somewhere as well, so you can have the classic moon pearl in checkerboard cave.
Yeah, that wouldn't be too surprising, I would say. When you find the myths and the mirror early, it definitely puts that in your mind.
Yeah, so finding the hookshot at this point really incentivizes you to go into Death Mountain early as well. You'll be able to full clear basically everything, except for Turok itself.
And these guys are synced right down to the the wire.
Pretty much in the frame right there. That's beautiful.
Oh boy. Path divergence going up and across for Trent, and Caladrius entering from the bottom about the same time.
From the bottom is like slightly quicker. I'll have to remember that. None of them going in there blind. Makes sense, you have enough items at the moment. It's the right decision at this point. I usually like going in blind because there's so much that you would want to grab, like a full heart or 300 rupees, but you don't want to come back for.
Yeah, I would say you can definitely do either way. Personally, I like just to check it because a lot of times it will just be something you don't really care about, like a 5 rupee or a big 20. And but I can definitely agree with sometimes early you want the heart containers, the extra money anyway. So
yeah, depending on what your current loadout is anyway, it might change.
All right, we have the dam. What do we got? Just a little bit more money. First chest to see what's in the bottom of the lake here.
So how do you feel about going from the dam to Agina early on?
I feel like sometimes that makes some sense, but you really got to have something to follow that up, because like the book, for example, where you have to be like missing a lot of items to justify that. So I feel like you're gonna check a mini Moldrum cave, an Ice Red cave anyway. So the only way that really benefits you, I guess, is if it's Moon Pearl there, and then you can take Flipper as well.
Yeah, I think it's more like a gut feeling and not really a mathematically sound option. But I've seen it been a bit in trend lately.
Oh boy. Oh boy. Alright.
Well, okay. I don't know what to say about this.
Thanks for all the weapons, dude. Have fun. Alright, well, Bo. We do not have lamps, so Eastern Palace is not technically in logic, but that is on the table now. We can just go through the dark rooms very easily.
I would be wholly tempted to go in there.
Yeah, I mean, we're at South Shore now. Depending on what we find in Ice Rock Cave, you know, the logic could definitely also be pointing us to go to Eastern anyway. There are 6 items over there that we can get.
Yeah, 7 including green pendants, so it seems very logical density-wise to go right in there.
Yeah, that's right. This is the green pendant.
I mean, otherwise only Zora and Agina are in logic, so it makes sense. And the chance that you find the lamp there is very, very possible as well.
Yeah, and it also allow you to. Oh, we're gonna see. Are we gonna see the double Houlihan?
Wow, I really did not expect them to go to Sanctuary at this point.
Ah, they're going to Death Mountain. All right. I guess that's fine too.
Yeah, it's a pretty interesting decision. I think they expect to find a lamp in the eastern area at this point, and that's why they just skip that and go right to Death Mountain, because it's basically the only thing that the lamp opens up.
Yeah. Something that could be unfortunate is if the hammer or the hookshot were also over there, because that would improve our routing a little bit on Death Mountain. Let's get more stuff over here.
Yeah, it would make it a lot more efficient to be able to do that in one swoop.
But Hera is a crystal. we got to get that done with anyway. And maybe there are good items along the way that we can just pick up and do things with.
Yeah, it's. I think it's a very acceptable decision to go out of there. You have to do it at some point anyway. I think it's only unfortunate if you find the hammer in the eastern area. With the hookshot, you basically don't lose that much time because you have to go back down and hookshot over to the east.
Yeah, I think that's true. Since we do the save and quit spot now, it's very easy to get back here with the hookshot. But if we find the hammer, of course, we have to go up this long trek here.
Especially these stairs that Trencher's going up to. Oh man.
Okay, so we find a red rupee on top of the Spectacle Rock Cave, and we find a red boomerang inside of it.
Yeah, not worth picking that one up. That's the bad boomerang.
Well, sometimes it's the best boomerang you got, but not today.
Sometimes you're happy that it just fills up a slot in your inventory. It makes for easier menuing.
Oh, I love the maiden.
Wow. That's brilliant. That's absolutely brilliant.
That is art.
Actually, another reason to maybe do Eastern first is in case you find the book.
Yeah, there are a lot of items you could potentially find that would help here. But at the same time, that's also a pendant, you know. I can understand why they would be hesitant to go there.
Yeah. I'm not sure how greedy you can be in the early game with deciding where to go, but the pendant versus crystal is always a consideration, I guess.
Yeah. In B29, it definitely feels like dipping into pendants, especially if it seems like logic is pointing you that way, is a smart thing to do, just because it feels like in this version, pendants are much more valuable, and if you skip pendants, it can hurt you a lot more. Maybe that's just me, but that's what I personally have noticed a lot.
Yeah, V29 feels like, I don't know, as dumb as it sounds, it feels like the most random logic we've had in a long time. It's very indiscriminate about where it puts its items.
Sometimes it's they're all in required dungeons and it's jet seed, and sometimes you're dipping into all the pendants to get everything you need. It's really hard to predict for sure.
Take pedestal seed, need all the pendants, but it's not on pedestal.
It does happen.
So I believe that the bomb bag was the first item in here, right?
I believe that is correct, yes. So, just looking for one more. Oh no. Oh no.
That was... oh, that felt pretty close.
Yeah. We're going downstairs, it seems like.
Trent, we're having the same issue.
Yeah, you can't poke him with the sword. Alright.
Okay, both got him. Nice. Yeah. Second item in basement confirmed.
Well, this is why we came up here.
Going for the tea strengths. Time for the tea break.
Whatever makes the room a little bit more tolerable. And right now we don't have many other options than just to bomb it.
Doesn't even have any arrows yet to fire from the bottom, so yeah, the bomb will have to do.
Maybe you can long range fire shot from downtown. Oh boy. Trent denied his coffee break.
Yeah, I have to actually put some effort into it. Okay, we might beat that.
We might, indeed. We do have 2 pendants in the Dark World. If both of those are not Misery Mire to rock, the medallion could always be relevant.
We already have the Fire Rod, so of course it's not for Ice Palace. But it could have been a situation in a different world.
Yeah. And you know, maybe you're going through Ice Palace and you don't have enough magic for the Fire Rod strat. You got Bombos back up. Feels nice.
Oh, it definitely does.
Okay, so Kala is just going straight into Eastern, I guess, because it's the green pendant that you're intending to full clear it anyway, and this will let them just jump down the Sasha for that green pendant check.
That's a pretty heads-up play, in my opinion. Realizing that you're probably going to do everything anyway, so might as well do it in the most efficient way manner possible.
Yeah, if you're committed to it, then definitely.
Of course, it's possible that you get like 3 high valuable items in the back of Saha's closet, and then you think, you know what? I'm just not going to go into Eastern.
Can't happen. See what it is today. When is going to be the lamp, right?
So about that.
I don't like that. I don't like those items. I don't like seeing them.
And just need the hammer and the moon pearl, and then it's like, hey, Swamp Palace.
But the flippers and the hook shot, without the hammer, that's really indicative that Aga might be required for Dark Worlds.
That's very
because,
possible too.
Like we do have the mitts, so I guess technically the flippers wouldn't be super required for that, but we do have the hook shot. It's worrying.
Yeah, luckily we don't have the lamp yet, so that doesn't put Aga into logic yet.
Not quite yet.
And once you have the lamp, then East Death Mountain becomes an option as well. And that's 8 items. There's a chance that you find the Moon Pearl right there.
Yeah, and if you do find the Moon Pearl along this this chain, that also lets us get. Actually, no. Actually, yes. It does let us get the Dark Death Mountain items as well.
Yeah. 2 items in Eastern already. Okay, like Burnout doesn't really do anything. I mean, logically it would allow us to do Spy Cave at some point. Not sure how much that says right now.
We do need the hammer for that. But if we do find that, I feel like that's something you really want to keep in mind. Because Spy Cave can definitely have good items in it from time to time.
Yeah, agreed.
One thing that coming here, if Caladrius opts to do this, there's a lot of money in Eastern, in the rupee room, right after the big key door. So if they feel like they're going to head up this door, they could definitely pick that up and boost the rupee count a little bit.
Yeah, there's 90 in the back of Escape. It isn't a dark window, so it might be kind of awkward. There's the Moon Pearl, so that's a Dark World access.
And our first bottle, so... well, that opens up quite a lot.
Yeah, the world's our oyster right now.
And the only thing we'll need to do Aga for, if at any point during the seed, will be because the hammers and Pyramid Fairy. I think that's the only scenario where that's required at this point.
Yeah. Because East Dark World is accessible already because of the flippers. Okay, opting not to go for the rupee room. Apparently Hobo had a bottle as well.
Yep. Oh, that was a bottle? I thought it was bombs at Hobo.
I'm sure chat pointed out that it was the second bottle on Waffle Fairy.
I see.
Up here.
Opting to come here up to Death Mountain. We did get that Moon Pearl, so there are a lot of items up here that we can get.
Yeah, again, density-wise, I think this is the logical option. It's not in logic, but I'm not sure how much Trento cares about lamp logic at this point.
Yeah, and we do only have 6 hearts. If Skullwoods end up being required, that's not a lot of room to make mistakes against Mothula. Even with Blue Mail, because the spikes do 1 damage no matter what, and Mothula themselves will do 1 damage as well, you really want maybe a bit more safety before you make that commitment.
Yeah, some people feel really confident against Mothula with low health, but I understand doing some overworld and some safety checks first, because you're probably going to do them at some point anyway.
Yeah, definitely, especially at the start. Ooh, fine silvers.
That's very nice to have at any point.
Bomb was a bit far.
Yeah, I think you don't actually want to move after dropping the bomb.
Okay, well, the green pennant was a shield. So, unless that burner comes into play at some point, I think that was mostly a bust.
Yeah, I mean, it might be an indication that at some point Laser Bridge might be in play, but again, Burner does the same thing.
Yeah. Okay, well, we're here in the Dark World on Myth Mountain. Maybe Trent will give us a map check when they get up here to Turok and see what the medallion is and what we're working with.
Yeah, aside from the eastern play, they've been following mostly the same route. Clay is not actually checking the flipper stuff, so he doesn't have the moon pearl.
That will hurt them a little bit, because they'll be able to check out Dark Death Mountain while they're here.
Yeah, there'll definitely be a third Death Mountain trip at some point.
Alright, red mail and another her container, so pretty nice.
And the safety is kicking in a lot. Even with only 8 hearts, I think that you should be okay against most areas at this point.
Yeah, the red mail makes such a big difference in that respect because it cuts the damage by a lot. We do have a bottle as well, maybe we can fill it up at some point. Just vanilla Quake for Turtle Rock.
Okay, so that's not the bombos that we maybe hoped for at this point. Caladrius finding his silvers. Not the moon pearl he was hoping for. But he might actually have the money to do so at the same time as well.
Yeah, Trent did not, of course, have the money for that, so that could be important. Meanwhile, Hookshot Cave, we got nothing. Nothing.
That's pretty surprising. Death Mountain not really paying enough.
Yeah, not too much. I mean, we did get the red now. It's okay. So Swamp and Turtle Rock are our pendants.
I actually can't what the second fairy crystal was. Damn. Yeah. So those are actually 2 dungeons that you don't really want to be pendants, I guess, because both are kind of tempting to go into when you can, because of the sheer density of items, but you don't want to go into them if you don't have to.
Yeah, that's true. Turtle Rock not being required is kind of a good thing, though, because it does cut down on the number of required items you actually need for go mode, which can be helpful. Of course, there's a very real possibility we go in there anyway, but
going in there without necessarily needing the ice rod is very nice to do.
Yeah, definitely.
So I think Caladrius is to go for the flipper checks right now. And Trento will be going into the Dark World to possibly go into Skull Boots first. Hoping to find the hammer so you can at least full clear feast them.
Yeah, I feel like if your equipment's good enough, just going straight to Skullwoods with the intention of clearing that at this point is a good decision.
Yeah, especially with Tempered Sword already. In case you have like the killing power. Going there with a lot of health and fighter sword still feels bad, but with tempered, you should be okay at most situations.
It really does make a big difference, especially if Mothula cooperates. It makes the fight so quick.
Yeah, agreed. So I'll be curious to see what Zora actually has, see if that might make a big difference, because I don't think Trenta will come back there really quickly.
I'm gonna say Zora's got the lamp. That's what I'm gonna say.
Yeah, maybe. Lamp could probably be anywhere, right? Because
It can be in a lot of places.
mids weren't lamp locked, I think. As long as it isn't something like Ether, which is required for Mystery Mart or something, that would be terrible.
That would be terrible. It's a little bit faster to walk on the grass, but not really that big of a deal, I suppose. Alright, what you got, Zora?
Okay, typical. Not even sure what I expected.
Giving him too much credit today. But that's still good because Trent's gonna have to worry about Zora for quite a while to come.
Stuff like that is always in the back of your head.
Yeah. If they go to Catfish, ooh, oh, that's a potential left line.
Yeah, that was a devil.
Yeah, they do have the option since they have the mirror to go to Catfish, mirror, and then go to Zora. So it's not going to be the worst thing in the world to check. We know they don't actually have to, but they probably will when they go to Catfish, if they go to Catfish.
So my only problem is that Catfish feels so out of the way. You don't really want to go there if you don't have to.
Yeah, definitely.
Wow.
You already had one. Well, then why'd you make us go get one? Why didn't you just give it to us?
Oh, you have a nice bottle collection. Here, let me help you.
Cheeky little jerk. Alright.
Okay. Well.
So I don't believe in Rando, the Butter Sword and Tempered Sword do any different damage to Mothula. I believe they do the same. Is that correct?
Yeah, that is correct.
Yes.
They changed it so that Mothula actually takes damage from Butter Sword.
That'd be kind of awkward.
The only thing that differs is that pokes actually do tempered sword damage to him as well, so you don't have to worry about suddenly doing less damage when you poke him.
Also makes this Gibdo room a lot easier, so quickly they die to him.
Yeah, it's great.
Oh no, the skull.
Yeah, sometimes the skull placement in this dungeon is pretty terrible.
Oh, we did get the cape in Skull Woods. That's actually convenient because we are actually right next to the upper cave as we leave here.
Yeah, with the cape find, I wouldn't be surprised to see them doing Bump Cave and Great Red Legends, and then going to the Village of Outcasts.
It's tough to route this area without the hammer. Typically, what I personally like to do. Okay, well, Mothula's dead, by the way. See how quick. Yeah. Personally, what I like to do is, if I don't have the hammer, I'll just do the south area first, and then come back, and then do Thieves Town, and then go the north side, go to the Graveyard Ledge, and then maybe to Catfish. We'll see what Trent opts to do, though. There's a lot of different ways, and that's one of the fun things about Rando, is seeing all the different ways people will route the situations they find themselves in.
Yeah, the routes usually start diverging from the point that you get Dark World access. Some people just like to skip the Thief's Town, like you said, if they don't have hammer. I personally don't like doing Thief's Town without the hammer either. It's just the feeling that you leave something behind. Like I said, I would usually do South Loop and then maybe just until Hype Cave and then do Thief's Town anyway. And sometimes I would indeed continue on towards the Pipe Pyramid and Catfish.
Yeah, especially with Titan Spits because it makes it super easy to actually. Oop. God, just getting grabbed by the Wall Master.
It's the worst. It's the worst room in the game.
Yes, it's one of them for sure. He's doing his job today. So one thing to note that I learned recently is that Wall Master does not actually spawn until you kill an enemy in the room. So you can get that statue in a better spot before you actually kill the jellies, and maybe that'll help you in this room.
But it's not optimal.
It's not optimal.
Yeah,
all that effort.
Don't you? Oh. Okay, well, I mean, with Red Mill, you don't take too much damage anyway.
Yeah, those birds will wreck you. But we got Red Mail, so it's fine.
So yeah, the Wall Master indeed doesn't spawn until you reach a certain bottom limit of sprites. So even if the jellies drop something, it won't spawn, which is really useful.
Graveyard Ledge. This is definitely one of the harder places to route efficiently. So if something good is here, it can definitely be a very big impact, depending on the items we have. Just bombs. That's the worst item to find there.
It's already a good place to find bombs. You don't need more. So Caladrius does martial out before going to the bottom to find the Buttocks Sword, but it shouldn't make too much difference between Tempered and Golden Sword.
I mean, we did find one item in the front half, so if Mothla has the other one, we potentially save a trip down there, but we will have to get that, unfortunately. But the logic behind skipping that initially is very sound.
Yeah, agreed. I kind of like transferring here, being able to link Catfish together with Graveyard Ledge and Swords.
Yeah, especially because they didn't check Sora. This feels really good.
Caladrius is making really quick work with Mafia as well. That's two really clean fights from them.
Very well done. That fight can control you very, very badly, even with good equipment, so always nice to see them just bring it back and make Moth look like a joke. Alright, Catfish, what you got? Nothing.
Just a quiver.
Got nothing.
More disappointment is coming right here.
The fish dudes don't always pay out. I would say they don't pay out a lot of the time.
Yeah, they say time equals money, but that doesn't really count in this case.
Like at least Catfish gives you that in for free. Zora makes you pay $500. That's a lot of money.
Okay, so you spend a minute coming here, and you give me 500 rupees. Well, you know what? I'll just give you 20 back.
Yeah, I'll take it. Why not?
Yeah, I would even pick up the 20 in this case. You need this for Palace of Darkness.
You don't want to be going to Palace of Darkness and find you're actually just a little bit short. Then you look like a silly person for not picking up that 20. All right, so Trent, where are you going?
I guess to Village of Outcasts at this point.
Yeah, I don't know why I asked the question. Actually, it's like the only thing that makes sense.
Yeah, this is the only portal into the Dark World at this point, so we don't really have a lot of choice.
Interesting that Caladrius is also doing the graveyard check super fast.
I'm not really sure how they feel in this matchup. Sometimes you like to check a bit more because you feel like you have the execution advantage, so you can check more at the same time. So it makes sense to route in like locations like this that you usually wouldn't.
Yeah, especially in a tournament race scenario, taking risks like that. Well, I say risk, but really it's just being thorough. But checking locations that typically get skipped for a long time, like the graveyard ledge, can definitely give you an edge. So yeah.
Yeah, in some way I think it's kind of like a meta decision. Some people really like to scout their opponent, see what their tendencies are routing wise, and if you feel like you might have an advantage otherwise, you just check those as well, just to make sure that you don't suddenly get destroyed by Flute and Graveyard Ledge or something. 1v1s are really interesting in those scenarios.
Yeah, they absolutely are. Alright, Trent can either go into Thieves Town or they can go down here to South Shore area. Looks like they are going to go to Thieves Town.
Okay, so, of course, there's always the option that the hammer is in Thieves Town.
Yeah, that's something that can happen. How about that?
Am I touching a sore point here, maybe?
Yeah, that actually happened to me in my race just a few hours ago.
I'm sorry.
It's fun.
Hammers in potentially hammer-locked dungeons are the worst. I'll attest to that.
Yeah, I mean, at least in Thieves Town, you know, it's okay. Like, I would be more upset if we were in Pod, I think, just because, you know, I guess we can get a lot of stuff done in Pod.
It keeps
Spray
cracking me
kills
up.
me.
You really should get Bunny beamed in the blind fight.
Well.
About that, eh?
Alright, well, Trent's probably happy about that.
This opens up a whole lot. You can clear your swamp now, you can clear ice palace now.
Yeah, about the only things that it doesn't actually open up are Turtle Rocks. We need to get Samaria for that, and the Mire and Desert area. Like, everything else is on the table now.
Yeah, I can't access Desert yet without the book or the flute. But you can basically clear Battle of Darkness even though you don't have the lamp, but that shouldn't matter too much. And just a couple of overall locations as well. There is Hammer Bags, there is Spy Cave.
Yeah, and we do have the Fire Rod as well, which makes the House of Darkness dark rooms much easier because there are torches you can light.
The way to Almasar is a lot more bearable.
Yeah, the turtle room can be a real nightmare.
This dungeon is definitely a thing without boots. It feels like a slog, especially the Hellway.
Yeah, it definitely takes quite a while without boots. So if you can get boots before coming in here, I think it's definitely worth checking the Village Outcasts just for the boots. If you're gonna come in here, there's a lot of straight and narrow hallways that the boots are really good in.
Yeah, exactly. Alright, let's see what the two chests in the basement have. I'm not sure how much progression you can expect to find at this point, because there's so much opened up still. There's still Hype Cave and Palace of Darkness and the 2 water dungeons.
There is a lot available to us right now. It's going to be interesting to see what they opt to do. Probably they'll start with the required dungeons that are probably going to be full cleared anyway. Things like Palace of Darkness would be a good place to start because there's 5 items there. You know, the difference between go moding that, not go moding it, is really just not worth considering.
Yeah, I agree there. I was first thinking, but it takes so long to get there. But we have the hammer now, so it's pretty easy to route everything in. I would expect something like soft loop, and then go straight to pod.
Yeah, definitely. All right, so this is blind versus blind. Get your bets in.
I think blind has the upper hand here. But it might be a close one.
Red Mill makes a lot of difference in this fight. Yeah, blind wins.
So well, it's kind of a shabby dungeon.
Yeah, we had to do it though, so no help on that.
Yeah, at least that's the good part. That view sound was a crystal. The word pendant, and there's nothing I hate more than pendant view sound. Especially
a pendant view sound that's not paid out in any real way. I guess we get the hammer. What am I talking about?
Yeah, I mean, that was the good part. Aside from that,
it's definitely a high point.
I guess we got to see Bunny Beams blind again. That was worth it.
Yeah.
Alright, digging game. I'll have to dig up 40 rupees as well.
Yeah, that was quick. Gonna go ahead and dig up the rest though, just because this is a really good place to make back your money. Very high chance you get rupee.
Yeah, it's enough for bot now. That's nice.
Now we're gonna come back up here, grab this froggy, turn him in, grab that purple chest, and hit down.
Yeah, and the purple chest. Tag along makes a lot of sense. I like doing just the frog if you have the boots. If you have the boots, the purple chest is like, but I have the boots. I don't want to walk.
You gotta damage boost and use your hook shot.
Yeah, that's definitely a possibility. but actual effort that requires skill. Might as well pray that you get the flute at some point.
The flute definitely speeds it up quite a lot. Well, it's a good thing we picked up an extra 10, because these guys do charge 10 rupees.
All that for a piece of heart. What a thanks.
Well, they would have given us the sword, but we already got them all.
Isn't there level 5? I guess not. All I want is something that can slash those jetties while they're electrocuted.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel ya.
But it's been amazing how little divergence there's been, considering the amount of options that are available.
Yeah. The hammer really is just going to be the thing I think that drives the wedge between these two guys as far as routing goes. Then again, maybe not. It's hard to say. But if there was ever going to be a time to route diverge, it would be nowish.
Yeah. The only real difference that is between these two is Eastern Palace versus Dark Death Mountain, I guess. And both didn't really pay off yet.
And it's very possible that Trent, when they go to Pod, will mirror into Eastern. It's in the realm of possibility.
Yeah. And depending on how much you have gotten in Pod, they might feel the urge to at least find something in the area. And we're very close to the always hype cave. Do you expect anything in there today?
No.
No. That's the right answer.
If I were gonna expect anything, it would be Ice Rod, just to put that seed of uncertainty in our minds.
Yeah.
Trying to anxiety cave.
I don't even want to think about that. Thankfully, they also need a medallion to even get into Turtle Rock first. So no pressure yet.
Yeah, we also need the cane as well, but that can be right around the corner. And you know what item loves to hide? The flute. That's one of those items that can be pretty much anywhere.
Nice rage bombs.
Yeah, it was a pretty lame cave, as we expected.
Yeah, half magic is useful. Not necessary though.
It's a nice consolation prize, I would say.
At least you came here. Thanks for dropping by here. Have this. I'll go away. Even getting the pyramid check before heading into Palace of Darkness.
Yeah. This is the time you're gonna do this. There's no other time that's gonna be convenient to check this, because we already did the catfish, I believe, for Trent. So
I like Caladrius routing here. Actually doing a Gina together with the purple chest. I think this is the closest that you're going to be here without the flute. And it's still a sphere 1 location, so
is this gonna be Lamp? Lamp has to be somewhere.
it's definitely somewhere.
It has to be. Oh
Wow. Okay. Okay. I'm not sure how to feel about that one.
Well,
that's
not
kind of
happy.
a slap in the face.
Why do you have that in the wall? Why is it hidden in a chest? What is wrong with you, old man?
The one arrow to kill them all. Okay, so is Clay just walking here to go to Pond, or is he walking here to go to Swamp? I would expect Pond.
Yeah, I would also expect that. I think he just did it here, so it's faster to check Pyramid, if I had to guess.
Yeah, decent theory. I would love to see some divergence at this point, though.
I mean, it's tough because these definitely feel like the safe plays. You don't want to do anything crazy quite yet.
Yeah, it's all just logical decisions. They're perfectly valid. Right, so it's probably not going north to check catfish. I think I'll just let that be a loose end for now. Oh, well. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, I understand this. You really don't want a location to get isolated where you'll never check it, because that's risky in V29.
It definitely is. I've had catfish be something like the boots once or twice. And leaving that for last is a severe blow to how you feel about the seed.
Yeah, definitely. Especially in these seeds that open up a lot, because it's that much more unlikely that you'll go back there. So getting it out of the way now, I understand.
It just also feels really bad if you come there and just get an arrow upgrade thrown in your face.
Yeah, well, I mean, this is the time you checked it, so it can't be anything this time. But the next time you don't check it,
Was that Ether?
that was Ether.
Well, that's still no Total Rock, so that's good.
Potentially.
But look at this, we have the Virgins. We're going into ice.
That's a very interesting play. Ice is one of the last things I feel like you would want to do, just because going in this dungeon is very quick, and it's one of the locations you can make up time if you fall behind. But we'll see if this pays off.
Yeah, I kind of like to play just by how gutsy it is. Maybe he wants the lamp before entry pod.
That is a possibility, and Lamp can definitely be here. You could just also be banking on the fact that because we have so many options open to us, the chances of coming to Ice Plus early are very low, and if that gets you an advantage, like there's progression item here, it can be very, very important. It can definitely win you the race in the best case scenario.
Yeah, that's very true. I really like to play in a way. Maybe I would have even done Swamp over this, but considering this is a crystal, you can't blame him for this.
Yeah. This one would definitely be a lot more risky. This is like between risky and just finishing the game, basically.
Yeah. It's like the medium decision in that case, I guess. It's just that we got everything for Swamp relatively early in Logic. And that makes me inclined, considering it's 6 items, to maybe just full clear it.
Yeah, I could see that. Oh, it's a bomb jump. First try. Very nice.
Very nice.
I guess it's less tempting in this situation because we already found silvers, we found the sword, and if you dip Pendant Swamp, usually, even if you don't find anything, you'll potentially find one of those and it can give you an edge that way. But since we found them all,
Yeah.
I guess it feels less tempting.
Yeah, that's a good point. Like, pure equipment-wise, there's not much else that you can get. So aside from Ether, we haven't really found anything in pod yet.
And if that ether is not for Misery Mire, we found literally nothing.
Yeah. There's still quite a bit that we're uncertain about. We don't know if we need Quake for perhaps Misery Mire. We don't know if we need the boots yet. And aside from that, we still need the flute and cane.
Yep, and whatever the Misery Mire medallion is, we did find ether, so pretty good chance that we have it, whatever it is.
Yeah, I'm usually okay with a 2/3 chance.
And that's very quick to check. Once we find the flute, we can just go there and look at it and know right away.
And if not there, it's usually in the areas next to it. I can't remember how often I found the medallion for Misery Mire in the Mire Shed, or the medallion for Total Rock in Hookshot Cave.
Yeah, that does seem to happen. Not super infrequently. Alright, Trent's going through the dark rooms, yeah.
He's plowing through them super quick.
There's the lamp.
Alright, well, we're all back into logic.
Just come to Ice Palace first, get your lamp, before you do anything else. I mean, that's not a bad find by any means. I mean, Misery Mire Dark Room is a nightmare, so not having to worry about those or the Turtle Rock Dark Rooms is a nice thing.
Yeah, even if you don't need it, it's just great to have.
Yeah, one less thing to mess with.
I was almost afraid that Frencher was going to save him quick there. I'm not sure about this bomb jump from Caladrius, because he doesn't have the key to go to the T room. He realized he'll probably be going the long way at this point. It takes a bit longer, but there's not much else that you can do.
Yeah, I believe we only found 2 items in here. It's fine.
Yeah.
Those arrows and lamp.
Yeah, correct.
Okay, so Trent did mirror and comes into Eastern Palace. This is not something we have to do, but something they're opting to do. It's not a bad play at all. There's 4 items here technically, and we're never gonna come back here again.
Yeah, considering that it takes a while to get to Eastern at this point, and he didn't really find anything in Pod aside from Ether. There's nothing else to really lead him, so might as well just do it while you're there. It's very low opportunity cost.
We'll even out the time a little bit that Caladrius has been on that, so... Yeah. Here we have Butter Sword Cold Stare. This fight is super easy.
Yeah, there's really nothing else that you want than Butter.
This gets destroyed.
I'm not sure how good it tastes with butter, but...
I mean, of all the things that you could put butter on, ice cream doesn't sound terrible, I guess.
I thought it was more like cotton candy, but...
Maybe. Maybe. We'll have to figure that out sometime.
We'll have to put a vote in chat for that, I guess.
Frozen cotton candy. That sounds unpleasant.
Yeah, especially with butter.
Okay, so Caladrius, where are you headed now?
Transfer opts to not go and finish Eastern Palace after finding the 3 items. Because it does take a while to get the big key and have to go all the way to Armors.
Yeah, it is a small thing that we'll have to keep thinking about, but I understand it does take a while to get there, and we do know that's not something that's going to pay out for him, so... Oh, are you heading into Ice Palace now, Trent?
Does seem like it. So they're going to switch positions. The only difference is that Caladrius now has the lamp for the dark rooms, so he'll make up a little bit of time.
And I mean, this is the only thing that I guess is the safest thing for Trent to do at this point, because we've been to Pod. this is required. So coming here does make sense right now.
Yeah, I mean, really, the only two things that we haven't seen at this point is our Swamp Palace and Spike Cave, I think.
I believe you're correct.
Wait, what is Caladrius? Yep, I did open these chests. Sometimes, I mean, it's a good double check.
If you're ever unsure, you know, it doesn't hurt just to be certain. You don't
Yeah.
want that in your mind.
I've definitely had some big derps in my head as well that I thought I checked something or didn't, or thought I didn't check something and did. So it's better to be safe than sorry.
Yes, absolutely.
So going to probably see the Ice Palace Bomb Jump from Transfer as well.
Yeah, if you don't have the Cane of Samaria, I mean, even if you're gonna full clear this dungeon, you might as well do this. Those
Very nice
potentially
return as well.
very nice indeed.
Yeah, I agree. During the game, doing Ice Palace the vanilla intended way, without the Cane of Samaria, it's not doable.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like the worst thing in the world, but it's something you want to avoid. All the same.
It takes like 5 minutes.
Oh my gosh.
Playing it safe, not just barging through the spike. Oh, killing for that room so cleanly though. Oh,
Really
that
nice hook
was
shot
really
on the
nice.
stairs, yeah.
So after this, I assume that Caladrius might go to Dark Divine, because he hasn't done that yet, and he'll be able to link it together with Spike Cave. Otherwise, I'm not really sure what other option there is besides Swamp.
Yeah, I think you're right. That will definitely send Caladrius to Dark Death Mountain, and it's going to be more interesting to see if Trent just goes, I guess, to Swamp, or if they have to go to Spike Cave first.
Yeah.
Spike Cave is definitely the much safer play, but
Yeah, agreed. Just be able to limit the essential, like how much essential stuff you need to do in Swamp Palace. You want to be able to get out there as soon as possible, I guess.
or not going at all. That's an option.
Yeah, if you find the cane there, you're... Well, actually, no, cane doesn't do anything. If you find the flute there, for example, then you just do all the flute stuff first. Swamp is so interesting in that way, because early game, if you can go in there, you'll probably go in there and full clear it, but the later that you go, the less you want to dive into it.
Yeah, definitely. So Caladrius did a kind of a neat thing with the bomb. Threw the bomb and then fell in the pit, and then made it through the pegs before they went up. That was first time I've seen that.
Yeah, same. That looked pretty close, but nice that he made that. Both players have shown some really decent execution. They've been like close in execution, but it's been really solid. Not something that you would typically expect from, you know, maybe 1-2 players. Even though the average level in this tournament has been really high. Not that I want to, you know, make negative comments about people that are 1-2. It's just been so solid.
Yeah, I mean there are a lot of really good runners in this, so you know, maybe sometimes they just don't get lucky. It's hard to say, but the play they've shown has been really clean, so props to them for that.
Yeah, great.
Oh, the bug net, right? Some pod. Well, then the whole trip was worth it.
Yeah, definitely. We got a means to kill Agatu now.
Exactly. It's my favorite. It's my favorite weapon for Agatu. As long as I have boots.
Yeah, otherwise it's a bit trickier. Okay, so Trent will probably have a little advantage coming out of the respective dungeons. Because he does have the Dark Death Mountain checks extra.
Yeah, that will be something Caladrius spends a little bit of time on. We'll see if Trent goes to Spike Cave first. I expect they will, but they could easily just go to Swamp. It's one of the two at this point.
Yeah, I wouldn't really mind. Ooh, this gets spin. I wouldn't mind the direct Swamp play. Maybe able to link to do Spike Cave later with the book, maybe. Might seem a bit more tempting.
Potentially.
Despite the early map app, this app does make short work of Goldster. Butter does help so much.
Yeah, and Half Magic Fire Rod also really helps.
Yeah, it's the same damage, isn't it?
Yep, I believe so. Fire Rod can double hit if you're lucky. But other than that, it's the same. Ooh.
And that does look like Swamp.
That it does. I would not be brave enough to just go straight to Swamp. I would definitely go to Spike Cave first.
Yeah, I can see that. I can see that. I'm not sure what I would have done. I mean, from the sidelines, it's so easy to say. I would have gone straight into Swamp. It's the obvious decision. But really, in this case, I'd probably also be like, no, I don't want to dive pen in the Swamp. Not at this point.
Maybe it's the correct answer, and I know it's the correct answer before I go in there, but there's even a 2% chance that it's not required. So yeah, if Swamp has it, Trent gets a larger lead. If it's not Swamp, then it's very likely that Caladrius will take a lead here because they're going to be going to Death Mountain. Anyway, most likely.
Yeah, I think that's very likely indeed. The overkill on Helmsarking. I like it.
Yes, of course. Slash him and then give him the one-shot arrow.
First you slather it with butter, and then you roast it on a nice stick.
Of course. I guess he was really hungry because he disappeared quite quickly.
I think still growing up, he needs to eat well. Okay.
Yeah, that's the okay, we're gonna keep going, but maybe this is something.
Yeah, and it seems to be exactly how we drew it up. Dark Death Mountain versus Swamp at this point. The worst part about finding mushroom here is that you can't even fake powder yet because you don't have the key in the smart.
That's true.
So in this situation, do you just full clearing, or do you go for straight to Argus first and then maybe do left side?
If you're coming in here looking for items, I think you always do left side first. I just the chance you actually find an item on left side is so high that I feel like doing that gamble just you're gonna push yourself behind the overwhelming majority of the time. So that's my opinion on it.
Yeah, with how little there is left and the fact that we might still need like a maximum of 3 or 4 items, I think doing left side is very acceptable in this situation.
Yeah, especially because we just found the compass, so that's gonna mean for sure that there's gonna be something over here.
Yeah. Okay, he didn't flood it. I saw the small movement to the north, but he didn't flood it. No heart attacks for us today. Yeah, Caladrius is going to be pretty disappointed in these two caves.
Oh no!
No!
Oh no!
Oh, I guess he's going straight into the swamp as well now.
Oh man. If Spike Cave is the answer, that's gonna be a bad feeling.
He might feel it's just too far away to walk all the way over the bridge.
No
but
way, man.
the opportunity cost is just so low.
Okay, well, I guess the good thing about this is if this is swamp with progression, it will minimize the disadvantage that Caladrius is at.
Yeah,
Of course, if it's Spike Cave,
I would be kicking myself.
yes.
Swamp is always the answer. And of course the map's on the left side. Caladrius could be making up a little bit of time by skipping left side, but he's been pretty forward so far.
Yeah, I mean, the only way that really pays up for you is if a can of Smarian flew through the back, I think. Even then, you gotta worry about boots.
Yeah. I'm so hoping for Quake and Cane of Samaria. I am a terrible person for saying that, but it would just be beautiful.
I mean, you know, it really doesn't feel that like that unlikely. Blue can be anywhere as long as it's not the Maya area.
Yeah. Book in Turtle Rock, Ice Rod, Desert Palace, Flute on Trinex. Yum yum yum. Yeah, no. Okay, I'll stop now. We can think of all the terrible scenarios, but that's not gonna help our runners in this case.
There's the flip.
See, it's all okay.
Yeah. And since we found flute, the only other thing that could be on the pedestal at this point are the boots.
Yep, that's very true.
It's possible, very unlikely, but possible.
Gotta go fast. I mean, if Chad wants, they can figure out a way that a double dip GT is necessary even, so let's not go that far.
Yeah, I mean, you know, book and GT and the big key on the torch and the boots on tablet.
Yeah, I was thinking more along the lines of Quake and Ice Rod, but yours is even yours is a bit tame. Let's go for that instead.
Okay, Caladrius also not flooding the king.
Okay, we're avoiding all kinds of heart attacks today. That's good. Oh. Well. See? Okay. We need to just figure out all the worst scenarios that are possible, and the game just gives us the items right away. It's like, no, don't do this to them. I'll just give it right now.
Oh man.
This opens up quite a few locations.
That does open up both the King's Tomb and the Bonk Rocks. I don't know. Also, with the library, I don't think library is anything unless I'm crazy.
I don't remember it being something, but I might have just missed it. Or it's just a quick way to get to the flute activation.
Yeah, that makes more sense. Sadly, that inn is built directly to the wall. Can't get by it.
Yeah, no shortcuts here. So we'll figure out our Misery Mire medallion soon enough, and other than that, we just need the Cane of Samaria.
And Cane of Samaria can definitely be in Misery Mire.
Yeah, the question is, do you just dip Misery Mire immediately and risk the double dip, or do you do everything from Mushroom? Okay, well, there's the Mushroom. From Mushroom to Bonk Rocks to King's Tomb. I would probably go into Desert first, but
Yeah, I mean, if you're finishing up the Mire area and you can, and you still haven't done the Cane of Samaria, then yeah, I think you definitely go in there. Because the double dip it's not ideal, but I don't think it's really that bad. All you really do is the first room again.
yeah.
So,
Yeah, the opening and Mire 2 room, I think combined that's like 20 seconds. That's probably acceptable.
especially if you have something like Ether, where you can get all the Wiz Robes at once. Makes it a lot easier.
Alright, get your drum rolls ready.
It is
It's
Ether, so
okay.
double vanilla medallions. So I feel like Trent's about to be in go mode.
Yeah, there's not that much left. I'll not find it really quickly.
I guess we could find Quake. That would be bad.
Luckily, Quake doesn't do anything.
It does not. Yeah, that's true. Because the Cane of Samaria can't actually be injured.
Yeah, there's no overbuilt glitches logic, so we can't just clip into the rock. Well, we even needed the boots, so good thing they are both finishing off Swamp.
That was a really convenient combo.
It could be Pyramid Fairy as well, actually.
Yeah, it could. Alright. So Cal's trying for the one shot here with the silver arrows. Third time's the charm.
Easy every time. Did we find the big key in Swamp, or is it in the big chest?
I want to say it's just in the big chest. No, we found it. We found it. It was on. Did we?
I don't
It's
know.
probably nothing. It's probably, if there was still not in there, we'd have gotten it.
Because we did find both the compass and the map, so I'm kind of worried.
Yeah.
I like what Caladrius is doing here. Checking King's Tomb, Bonk Rocks, and Activated Flute in the same line.
Alright. Coming up here on Landmole.
Yeah, I don't think that Trent will have a hard time here.
Nah, probably not. You got half magic and butter sword, you know.
Silver arrows. You can just pick whatever weapon you want.
There's a variety of ways to kill them.
Okay.
Just a little bit more well equipped than the vanilla run. Just a little bit.
Please, don't remind me. If there's one bad thing about the NMG runs, it's the Lamos fight. Trent not having the easiest time, but does manage to get them in a few cycles.
Yeah, if you don't get the 0 cycles to burst, it's quite hard to actually kill them with them. The butter sword does this fantastic job, though.
Yeah, just 2 hits per Lamo makes it quite easy. Alright, well, so far we only have Checkerboard Cave and Pyramid Ferry and Misery Mire itself, I think.
I'm not sure if Trent actually checked the bonkables.
Yeah, he hasn't. But as far as we know, it can only be those spots, I think.
Yeah. I wouldn't blame him at all if he just said, I'm gonna go in the mire now. I'm right here, I can. I'm just gonna do it. Oh.
And he isn't done again yet. Of course, it can still be a spy cave.
It certainly can be there, yes. Trent, go ahead and give him the old man a bomb.
He sure deserved it. He didn't know it yet, but he sure deserved it.
Yes, it was very well deserved. Where are you going, Trent?
Looks like Pyramid Ferry.
Okay, that makes sense.
Okay, Caladrius finishing off Desert Palace now, and we'll see if he follows suit or if he does dip.
Oh no!
Oh no! Oh no!
Oh no. Well, we need to get some money.
Oh gosh.
Oh boy. There's 2. We need 8 more. Now we
Not
need
even
9
picking
more.
it up. Doesn't have to shuffle either. Oh, this is terrible. Yeah, check the stun drop. That's a good one.
Ooh.
Yo! So, so lucky. Oh, that's so
Calculated.
nice.
Yeah, the stun prize is always the same, so figuring out what that is early can be a big advantage.
Yeah.
Especially with money, you need money to buy a big bomb. That's really useful.
Yeah, Caladrius is not going to have money issues with the big bomb. He has plenty of 300s picked up. Okay, so the next moment of truth is the King of Smire going to be in here.
If it's not here, and it's not in Spike Cave, and Caladrius goes straight into Mire, this race evens up
Yeah, we're going to have quite a race then. Info book.
It's
It's
nothing.
not here.
Oh boy. Now, if it is Spike Cave, Caladrius can be kicking himself. But if it's not,
This is quite something.
it is definitely. And Caladrius is shown they're not afraid to take what might be, you know, a bit of a gamble, going to Ice Palace right away.
Yeah. Yeah, I can see him going into Misery Mire, and it would be pretty close at this point.
Really
That's the
nice.
one cycle.
Yeah, that was really nice. It's not as easy as it looks.
Alright, so if we want a close race, all we want now is Caladrius to dive into Mire as well. No, he's not going for it.
Oh man.
I mean, logically it makes sense. He just wants to be able to single dip Misery Mire.
Alright, well it's either Misery Mire or Spike Cave.
Yeah. Will he remember that he's still Spike Cave open at this point?
I hope so. If it is there. Okay, thank you.
Of course.
Okay, you like digging, right? Here you go. Have fun.
Yeah, here's a shovel to dig your own grave with. So that's one item. So we still have 3 locations left at this point.
We're running out of things very quickly. Caladrius getting that mirror shield fully decked out.
He's fully
Walking
equipped.
army.
Okay, 1 or 6. Oh, no Spike Cave.
Alright, well. We are unsure if this is good or bad. Well, there's a big king. Opens up the big chest. Are we gonna get vanilla Samaria?
That would be quite a thing to end the siege with. Hammer and Thieves Stone as well. Just all the items that you need the dungeon. All the dungeons that you need the items in.
Oh, man. Uh-oh. Okay, just managed to get there.
It's not okay. Second try. We still have the big key spot.
That's close enough. If that's where Samaria is, that's close enough to know. Let's see. Watch it be shovel.
Yeah, I would not be surprised. I saw something in chat about booking Dick Spot, cannot tap that. Like, oh no.
Oh boy.
Really, watch it be in Spike Cave.
Yeah, and that would be very sad for Caladrius because they had the perfect opportunity to go to Spike Cave when they went up to Darkness Mountain. And if they had, and it is there, that would be a sizable advantage right now.
Yeah, that would have been a lot less searching. And watch me be a City Goose and bring up Spike Cave while Trenter might have done it like really early, but I really don't think I missed that.
I don't think they did. Okay. All
It was red.
Alright, so somebody bury Kane.
Oh boy. So, Caladrius is making up a little bit of time if he does do the torches right now. But I'm afraid he'll go easy. It's Spike Cave! Oh!
Oh my god, why?
And he doesn't know. He's going straight there. Oh man.
Yeah, so Trent doesn't feel good. Trent's probably feeling way, way behind at this point because this is the last thing they can actually check. But Caladrius is going to be feeling way worse later when they realize where it is.
Oh, that's terrible.
Okay, I guess this could be a fetch quest item in here as well, leading to Kane, but this is definitely the next step.
Just needs to be careful, doesn't have that many hearts left. I mean, Caladrius is making up a little bit of time with his Mario routing, but it's still quite a sizable gap.
Oh man, this is gonna be so close. There
it is!
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Yeah. Well, as bad as you feel, Trent, Caladrius is gonna feel even worse.
He's gonna go Spike Cave before? What is this? Not even going for the shovel bait.
Oh my gosh. Well, Caladrius is just a little bit behind, but it's like 30 seconds. So this race is gonna be...
It's a lot less than it used to be.
Yes.
Alright, well, both players are going to be in go mode, and this is going to be quite an ending to a race. I mean, there's still the GT routing that we have to take into account, but otherwise, it's all execution.
Yeah. Trent does have a small bit of time banked up just because of the way it's played out, but still anybody's race at this point. All it takes is one death, one fall to Ganon, maybe one fall to Moldorm.
Yeah, we're going to have to take a good look at when both runners enter GT. Oh, that is actually Spike Cave though. That's unbelievable. After all the loops the seed has been throwing at the runners.
It's really feels bad just to leave that behind because that was available for quite a long time now.
Yeah. I mean, for Trenter it was maybe a little bit awkward to come because he had definitely cleared.
Yeah.
Aside from that, so early, but. The bosses aren't going to be a big difference maker at this because Vitrius is easy with just silvers.
Yeah, Vitrius won't be an issue. If Caladrius does very well execution like they did in the first Landmo, and Trent has a bit of trouble as they did with the first one as well, that's also a point where this could tighten up.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah, the gauntlet is going to be the big test for both of them. Okay, so Trento enters it at 55. I think it's going to be around a minute difference. And easy cleanup.
Alright, well, we have a game that we like to play here on the Speed Gaming channels, or just with Randomizer in general. Do you know what that game is, Errol?
Yeah, apparently there are like 22 locations that a certain big key can be for a certain dungeon, and it's your job to guess which of those 22 locations the big key is going to be. So here, once we start the game, you can put your guesses in chat, and the winner will get our everlasting gratitude and love. And if you have subscribed or have donated 250 bits to any of the Speed Gaming channels, you will be entered into a leaderboard once you've won.
So, what are you feeling today? Where's this big key gonna be?
I'm gonna go for 14. I just like the number. And depending on the routing, it can be a whole different location, so it's somewhere in the middle. How about you?
I am going to go with the just before Ice Armless.
Right. That's funny. In some routings, that is actually chest number 14. So we'll see.
We'll see.
Okay, well, I think there's going to be a very minimal difference when they enter against Tower at this point. Oh, he's going for the Waffle House. Oh, he makes it! Oh, Caladrius is a hero in my books.
He goes for the Waffle House? Is that what
Yes,
you said?
it's called the Waffle House drive-through. If you can, instead of jumping down the ledge, you can just run around it with spin speed. And if you can dodge all the dead rocks, you save about a second.
I see.
It's beautiful.
Yes. Very interestingly named, too.
Yeah, I think it's something to do with a speedrunner called Waffle who got stuck between all three of the dead rocks and got utterly destroyed.
I see. Okay, because the Waffle Houses around here don't actually have a drive-through.
Okay.
That's where it's going. Alright, Trent going in 142.45. Heading straight right.
Okay, that's one.
Does not go full right. Very interesting.
This could be the difference maker. There's the astronaut.
Are you gonna go Turtle Rock? No? Okay.
Are we playing Key Sanity?
Alright, Caladrius entering GT 143.33. A little bit less than a minute behind.
48 seconds.
Is gonna go full right, or at least the first 4 chests. Alright.
Okay, either this could cost a minute or could save him the entire race. Ooh, Trent taking a fall there. All these small mistakes are going to add up. This is going to be crazy.
It's very easy to gain lose time in GT depending on your execution.
GT is the perfect showcase of execution. Oh, there it is!
Oh boy.
That was number 8, right? Yeah.
So the good thing is, Caladrius won't be that far behind, unless they opt to go full right side. It's quick. So we'll get the small key, we'll see what they do after that. Yes.
Yeah, very reasonable. Okay, so Caladrius lost a little bit, but it's still not insurmountable. It's going to be really tough now, though.
Yes. But if his execution is really tight in GT, the gauntlet up here, he can definitely even it up or even overtake Trent. We'll see.
Yeah, a normal gauntlet will take around 5 minutes, all the way up to and finishing Aga 2. So
Yeah,
we'll have
and
to see.
yeah, this keep in mind, guys. This is a tournament race. 1-2. This could be both these guys' last chance to actually get to the brackets. So nerves are a factor. It's very easy to play below your standard if you are feeling nervous, which I'm sure these guys are.
Oh yeah, I would be. I mean, there's been multiple last location items for both of them right now. And I'm sure both of them will be expecting a dot done at any moment. Alright, Trent entering Gauntlet 3 right now when Caladrius is entering the spike room.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I feel like Trent bought potions when they turned into mushroom, so as far as safeties go, we should be okay.
Yeah, I think he did. That's correct. I mean, really, in this case, it's better to be safe than sorry. I mean, of course, there's a limit, but it's really hard to find the line between being fast and being reckless.
Yeah, definitely. Alright, is having just a tiny bit of trouble here with this Landlaw 2 fight. It does manage to clean it up. Oh, there's one more. There we go.
Okay, that was not too bad.
Yeah.
Alright, Claire is going for the safety as well. With only 3 hearts, that seems reasonable. But again, it's all those little time losses right here.
They do add up quite a bit.
Getting through reserve rooms really cleanly.
Oh no.
Oh boy.
This is gonna be close.
As long as he doesn't get the soft lock, I think he'll play it safe here. Okay, well. Saved.
Trent living on the edge here. I wait for that even if I know there's no chance that I'm gonna get it. Just to be super duper safe.
Yeah, that's how point I decided to just learn the timing and see when I couldn't make it with what kind of derpy movement. But otherwise it's so tight. Alright, Trent entering Mall Room 2 versus Lambo 2 from Caladrius. Also close to one cycle once again.
Good thing is that... Yeah, there we go.
We're finding all the good islands.
Yeah, that's pretty much everything but powder.
Alright. Here's our geometry quiz.
Fairly nice pattern to start with.
2 nice hits.
That's a free one. That's a free one.
Oh, I'm getting triple nice. No blue balls, that's really nice.
That's very, very good. So now we're going on Ganon, and with Butter Sword and Silvers, it's very unlikely that Trent will have issues with this fight. It's still possible, but very unlikely.
Again, nerves are still a thing, but reasonably you can expect this to go pretty smoothly.
Just giving us some bug facts today. Oh, Caladrius unfortunately taking a fall.
Gabe tries to be safe from Trent here. With half magic, it makes sense. Oh no, not.
You can see how much nerves just actually affect you. You want to go fast, but sometimes that causes you to make mistakes. Maybe you get bumped around like that. It's
Yeah, when you don't see your opponent being done yet and you're so close, it's hard to describe how you feel at that point.
It's really hard to describe it. Yeah, you have to be in that situation, you know. Ooh, nice double.
Nice double, yeah.
So we're down to one more, I think.
Getting a hit, nice. Yep, and he finishes it off.
Very nicely done. So, unless Trent decides he wants to do the fight again, it's looking like he's going to be your winner today. Let's see.
Yeah, he just waltzes across the finish line. Nice. Wait. Okay, I don't have the link to the channel, to the race channel itself. But it looked like around 151.48.
Yeah, same here. So, looks like Trent's in the setup room. We'll go ahead and pull him in here. See how he's doing. Alright, Trent, GG, congrats on your win.
Thank you. Oh, that's one palace.
That's my palace.
That flute, yeah. And those boots.
Yeah, those boots.
Oh, good for you fixed it at least, and didn't bill out after you found the flute. How are you feeling about the seed overall?
I actually hoped more that I find the flute in Ice Palace and not the lantern, but well, okay. There was the sequence.
Yeah, yep. So, you and Caladrius actually had very, very similar routing for almost the entirety of the seed. And the times you diverged, it was usually just trading what you just did. So, you guys were very evenly matched. He's on Ganon now.
Well, close race. I had the feeling the whole time.
Oh boy, you have no idea.
We were on the edge of our seats the entire time. Like, you were doing slightly different routes, trying to find the cane of Samaria, and it's like, where is that cane?
Yeah.
Sadly, yeah. And actually, after Spy Cave, I was like, okay, if Spy Cave has not the medallion, and Sharashla has not the medallion, then I don't know where to search.
Oh, right, because you never finished these. That's true.
Oh, Caladrius, blowing up Ganon.
Hello, hello.
Hello.
GG's.
So they won. They won the game. Hey, Caladrius.
Well, Caladrius finished the seat with a 154.13. Welcome. How are you doing? GG.
Ah, what a seed.
Indeed.
Oh, man. It was very, very close. You guys did very similar things.
Yeah, I noticed.
Yeah.
Somehow I had myself convinced I found the flippers on Death Mountain, so I spent half the game wondering where was Death Mountain access in the light world.
They won. Hey, Caladrius.
Until I realized, about 20 minutes later.
Yeah. Yeah, the flippers were in Sahaslo's hut, I think, to get a
Yeah,
reflex shot.
I
Yeah.
suddenly remembered that. It's like, oh. I felt so stupid then.
So I gotta ask, Mina, we're really curious. When you went up to Dark Death Mountain, you checked the Hookshot Cave. You did not check Spy Cave. Did you forget about it? Was that a conscious decision?
Back then I forgot about it. When I completed Desert, I was tempted to go up there, but I thought I'm gonna gamble on it being in Misery Mire. But of course, I gambled wrong.
Weird. I have the feeling I have to say I did the same.
Yeah, again, you two made so many similar decisions, similar routing, just trading off decisions if they did change off, and really the execution was so equal as well. It was such a tight race all the way until the end.
Except Trolldorm 2.
Yeah,
Let's never speak of that again.
Speak of what again?
What? I said nothing.
Yeah, exactly. Okay.
Actually, when do we rename Mini Moldon Cave to Hype Cave?
Oh yeah, that was perfect, wasn't it?
I suddenly have Tempered Sword. Where did this come from?
And the bow.
Yeah, and the bow. What? And then Hype Cave had bombs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And don't forget the 20 rupees.
It had half magic. It had half magic.
True.
Acceptable.
Never had so many problems with rupees in a seed. Never.
Oh man.
Oh yeah, that was true. When you went to buy the big bomb and you only had 80 or 90 rupees. 90 rupees.
Oh man.
And then
This
you
is
figure
not
out
a charity.
That's horrible. Lucky, I believe the stun price was 20 rupees.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what ended up saving them. Tripped into the blind side or something.
Oh.
Actually, also the reason why I went into Thieves Town. I was like, I don't have 80 for the digging game. Okay, fine, Thieves Town.
good thing the hammer ended up being in there.
Yeah.
Indeed.
Oh, I was so happy when I found that. And then Big Chest ended up having compass, but
I mean, it's nice to at least have the security that you'll be able to full clear it.
yeah, that's true.
But yeah, especially after that, you guys around the same time got the hammer. The seed opened up quite a bit, and you basically had 3 options.
Oh, yeah.
After that, Swamp Palace, Ice Palace, and Pod. And yeah, I mean there it's like changed up quite a little bit with the Ice Palace versus Pod decision. But yeah, afterwards it was like, oh, we only have Swamp Palace left. Let's go in there for both of you.
Yeah, that was my decision as well.
Yeah. I was like, okay, Swamp Palace had in every tourney seed for me, something in there. At least 1 or 2 items. Come on, let's bank on it. It's 3.
After Flute, I was contemplating dipping, but I was like, nah, I'm so close. Boots. Oh, thank God I stayed.
Yeah, me too.
Because boots were also required for Desert.
Yeah.
What was Cat's reaction to finding the ice rod on Bob's torch? I really want to know.
Oh yeah, I was wondering the same thing. I was like, should I drop it or not?
I don't know if chat had a big reaction to it. You can watch the VOD later, find that yourself. But I know we got a chuckle out of it.
We sure did. Especially because we were contemplating like all the terrible things we could do to you.
Oh, the seed was contemplating those as well.
Yes,
Well, it was
indeed.
pretty beautiful because we were thinking, okay, can we still have something on pedestal? Well, technically, if we find, Quake and Samaria here, and it's on Trinex or something, and then it gave you the flute, and then but it could still be boots, and then you got the boots from Argus.
Yeah.
The seed did decide to be nice right there. But yeah, I mean, in the end, it was still kind of Samaria that ended up.
This one place.
Swamp was Pendant Swamp, never forget.
Then the swamp
considering
is required.
It was opened up so early, and Yeah, I guess that you don't want to do it over all the crystal dungeons you could do, but with all these items, it was kind of rough.
Yeah, that's why I
Oh.
finished up all the possible crystal dungeons first.
I was
Yeah,
contemplating the same. Like, I was like, okay, I can do Thief's Stone now. Oh, I got the hammer. Let's do Pod. I don't Dark Rooms. Whatever. Ice Palace. Next, yes. And then I still need the damn flute.
Yeah.
Where is it?
I usually find blue things in Ice Palace, so I was like, the flute is there. But then it was red things.
Yeah. Caladrius actually went to Ice Palace before Pod. And
Yeah.
then you went to Ice Palace as he finished up Pod, and he was going to Pod, so...
Nice trade-off there.
Yeah, indeed. I actually wanted the lantern for the Dark Maze, but whatever. You can work with it out without.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, prefer the lantern. Let's do Ice Palace first. What do you know? Lantern.
So, Trent going up to 202. Caladrius fell into 1-3. Unfortunately, unless we have some drops, it seems like your chances of getting the bracket are kind of grim. Are you still going to play determined matches and hope for the best?
Oh, I'm definitely still gonna play. I can still go positive with 4-3.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely you can.
And it's a blast playing these things, so...
It was a
That's
blast
the most
watching.
important part. And yeah, Trent's still on the bubble, 2-2. It's still win out straight here. But how do you feel the chances are?
I now expect you to win the next 3.
Yeah, I expect myself as well. No.
Do not disappoint me.
I ended up 0-2, and now 2-2 is already more than enough than I hoped for. I hoped for 1 win. Now I have 2. Well, I don't
Very
say
nice.
I don't want. I'm not saying I don't want any more. I'm more like saying I take everything I can get.
That's a good mentality to have. So, well,
Yeah,
just
exactly.
good luck with the rest of your races, and well, GG on this one. Well, it was definitely a good race, and I hope you guys will have a good enjoy with rewatching it.
Oh yeah. Looking back on it, the seat was pretty fun. Probably pretty fun to watch as well.
It definitely was.
I share the sentiment. If you guys enjoyed what you watched, and if you didn't, then I don't know. Something's wrong with you. Definitely give both these runners a follow. They put on a great show. It gives a really, really close race. Thank you to our tracker, Demon's Druid, for keeping all the items updated, all the good stuff. If you guys saw, maybe give Speed Gaming 1-6 follow. ALTTPR Randomizer also follows, because we got plenty more random action coming through the following weeks, for sure. Even today, tomorrow, every day. And of course, thank you to my co-commentator, Error. It was a blast commentating with you.
Yeah, definitely. I had tons of fun. We should do it again sometime.
Yeah, I would love to do that. But I think that will do it for us for today. Not today, well, I guess for right now. For this race. That'll do it for us this race. And then, yeah, we'll hope to see you guys at the next one. Thank you for watching.